It's EvVB here and welcome to the EvVB show. Like in the previous videos, the discussion will revolve around the potential possibilities of both present and future gaming technology, and I'll also be including my own observations and opinion on how I think this can be best implemented. If you haven't seen the previous videos, then please take the time to check them out as it helps to keep the topic of this video in context. Before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to a wonderful gaming charity that I met at EGX called Special Effect. And here is a brief explanation as to what amazing work they do.
So we are Special Effect. We make and modify controller systems for people with physical disabilities so that they can still play video games. And yeah, it's really nice to be here at EGX. Obviously we get a load of amazing support from gamers and the video games industry, and it's so amazing to just be here and to say thank you and to meet everyone, and yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing. Best charity ever.
I will leave their details in the description below. So let's get into today's video. In this video, I want to talk about my expectations for what I think the next iteration of the Nintendo Switch will be. And this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. We know that this idea has to be plausible and functional, so it can't be any flights of fantasy. So I'm going to define what I think the system will be and then cover them in 6 key points. So let's begin. Many people are calling the next iteration of the Nintendo Switch the Nintendo Switch Pro. Now that's a good label to differentiate it from the original Switch, but in my opinion, I think that is a label Nintendo would probably want to move a little bit away from. My gut feeling is they will stick to the same naming conventions they used with the Nintendo 3DS. So I think the Nintendo Switch will be called the Nintendo Switch XL. Not because the system will be bigger in size, but more bigger in features. And I want to try and demonstrate that in this video. That takes me straight to point 1. What changes are we looking to see? The first major change will be the screen size. Now the current screen size is 6.2 inches. And the resolution is 1280 by 720, which gives you a 720p picture. But that's functional for now, but I believe that that can be improved by utilizing the black border space around the screen. This would give you an almost 18% increase in screen size, making the final screen size 7.3 inches. Now that's more than enough space to give a bigger picture presence, and also to make the system feel increasingly larger, warranting the XL name tag. Within this screen space, I'd like to see a resolution upgrade, something near 1080p to start with, and maybe something above. I'm not talking 4K on a portable system, but I am talking about resolution that allows the Nintendo Switch to forward think just in case they do want to go down the VR route. That leads me into point 2, the APU. What I think everyone wants is a higher performing processor, one that will let The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild run at its intended 60 frames a second, whilst also boosting the visuals up to 1080p. Now we can all wish that the next processor delivers 4K gaming, and that could be a possibility in docked mode. But looking at the system through an iterative process, the only plausible explanation would be that the supplemental computing device would handle the 4K gaming. Right now, the only things I'm hoping for is that this new system will be able to hit 60 frames a second on current and future games and a minimum of 1080p in docked mode across all games, including ones that have already been released. The extra performance of the APU should hopefully be on par with the original Xbox One, and there was a very good article on Eurogamer's website titled "Where Next for the Nintendo NVIDIA Partnership," written by Richard Ledbetter, that pretty much covered the possible outcomes of an upgraded Tegra X1. I will leave a link in the description below for your perusal. This allows me to move on to my next point, point 3, more memory. Now we've got two things to look at here. One is internal memory and the other is RAM. One could argue that 32 gig of internal memory was sufficient at launch because the initial games that were released were very efficient in memory size. There was also the issue of keeping the unit value low due to the high memory costs, so compromises had to be made. For the next Nintendo Switch iteration, a compromise will still have to be made, as high memory costs won't simply vanish. It's of my opinion that realistically any improvement would come in two possible sizes, 64 gig or 128 gig, with SD cards continuing to provide the bulk of additional storage. Based on current rumours, the system's main memory is set to be 8 gig, and this would be more than ample in conjunction with the APU to provide the system with more performance and graphical capabilities. By splitting the system's memory into a 6 gig allocation for games and a 2 gig allocation for the OS would allow the system to deliver some much upgraded functions that will be discussed in part 2 of this video. As said before, this could allow currently released games to run better on the new system, whilst putting the new system on parity with competitor systems like Xbox One and the original PS4 for third-party ports. We will be addressing points 4, 5 and 6 in the next video, so please check that out. So what do you think of my expectations for the next iteration of the Switch so far? Is it something you agreed with or not? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, please like, subscribe and comment on my videos, as your feedback will help me produce more content. If you like what you've seen, want to be notified when the next video is live, or just want to get involved in the discussion, click the subscribe button and feel free to leave me a comment below. Thank you again for watching my video. I'm EvVB and I'm signing out.